Hey, I'm Vicky and today I'm going to be comparing Simply Cook and Hellofresh. Both of them are recipe kit subscription services. They have a lot of similarities, but there are a couple of key differences. Which of them is actually better if you're on the fence about trying one or the other? Well, you can listen to this and find out. So the premise of Simply Cook and Hellofresh is pretty similar. Both of them allow you to go online, pick some recipes from a selection on their website. You pick your favorites. They will send out ingredients to your house along with recipe cards to show you step by step how to actually cook the dishes. But there's a really big difference here, which is that Simply Cook does not include the fresh ingredients. The Simply Cook boxes come with sachets that contained dried herbs, pastes, stocks, sauces, marinades, all kinds of very key ingredients for introducing flavour to what you're going to cook. But they don't include things like the rice, the pasta, the meat, the veg that you need to include. Whereas Hellofresh, and also Gusto as well, which is probably like the direct competitor to Hellofresh, will include everything that you need. I think apart from maybe oil, cooking oil that you need for dishes, such as vegetable oil, olive oil, Hellofresh will include absolutely everything that you need, right down to garlic, rice, pasta, for you to make that dish. So with Simply Cook, you're going to need to nip out to the supermarket to get everything that you need to make the dish. And they tried to make that easy for you with their recipe cards by including a little tear off panel. You can tear off, and it's got all the ingredients that you need to pick up there. You can tear that off and take that with you in your pocket to the supermarket so that you get all of the fresh ingredients to cook with. So that gives you a bit of an overall idea of how it works, but here's a rundown of how these two services work and also looking at how they compare, where the differences are, where the similarities are. So both these services will offer some kind of discount when you're a first-time customer. With Hellofresh, I really recommend you just scour the internet for good deals. There are often half-price deals, 35% off deals, all sorts of different voucher codes out there for Hellofresh. So have a really good scour around for codes. You can find one really, really easily for your first box to get a really decent amount off, and sometimes off your second and third boxes as well with certain deals. The Simply Cook box is £1 for your first one. Now, just a warning, and this applies with both of these, once you've ordered your first box with whatever discount you manage to get, so Simply Cook, your first for £1, Hellofresh, your first for whatever you manage to get it for with whatever discount voucher you use, you're tied into a subscription then. With Simply Cook, you can cancel that subscription after 7 days. So once your first box that you ordered for £1 has arrived, but you need to wait 7 days. And it's really key to remember that, because otherwise, once you hit the next time that your next box is due, you're going to be charged £9.99 from your bank. Similar thing with Hellofresh. As soon as you've ordered, you're locked into a subscription. So with both of these services, you go onto their website and you pick which recipes that you want. I think the last time I checked, Simply Cook had around 55 dishes to choose from. These haven't changed that much since I started my subscription a few weeks ago. There's a couple of new things coming in, but generally those 55 are the same. They say that their recipe selections do change from time to time, but 55 is a pretty good number to choose from. And with Hellofresh, I think there's about 36, 37 recipes to choose from each week. So again, a really, really good selection there. And the Hellofresh recipes are changing every week. Each Simply Cook box comes with 4 dishes for you to cook. So you pick out the 4 that you want from the selection available on their website. Each time it's time for you to pick a new box. With Hellofresh, you can choose between having 2, 3, 4 or 5 meals delivered to your home every week. With Simply Cook, your meals serve between 2 and 4 people. With Hellofresh, there's a little bit more choice about how many people you can pick to be serving. I think it's somewhere between 2 and 5. I have to say, I find the portion sizes with both really, really generous. I've not been disappointed with either of them in terms of the amount that we had. And I think with some of them, we could have easily had leftovers from it as well to get a lunch out of it for one of us the next day. So once your initial starter deal is done, each Simply Cook box costs £9.99, and that's 4 meals for 2 to 4 people. For Hellofresh, 4 meals for 4 people is £56.98, including shipping. Don't forget, Simply Cook is not including the fresh ingredients here. They're just including herbs, pastes, marinades, that kind of thing. Whereas HelloFresh has got your meat, your fish, your pasta, literally everything that you need for it. I did a little bit of working out with Simply Cook, how much it actually costs per serving, because Simply Cook says each serving costs between £3 and £6. HelloFresh, a £56.98 box for 4 people, you're looking at £3.50 per serving. Okay, so on the face of it, Simply Cook could be a little bit more expensive. So I actually did a breakdown on one of the dishes that I did with Simply Cook. It was a Vietnamese pork dish, which was amazing. It was so delicious. The cost for the fresh ingredients was £6.06. I bought these fresh ingredients at Tesco. So the total cost with the bits in the Simply Cook box is £8.55. And that's £2.13 per serving. From that dish. Now that's not going to be the same with every single Simply Cook dish, because obviously chicken is a more expensive meat, for example. Some of the fishes, salmon, cod, a bit more expensive than buying some pork, but it just gives you a little bit of an idea of the cost there. I mean, they're not too far apart. However, at least with Simply Cook, you have the flexibility to go to a much cheaper supermarket and seek out cheaper ingredients for your meal. In terms of actual delivery, the Simply Cook box does actually fit into your letterbox, so that's pretty handy. You can be out, you know it's going to come through the door. It hasn't got anything in there that needs to be refrigerated, so you don't need to worry about dashing back home and getting things that are perishable into the fridge. With HelloFresh, you'll be given a choice of delivery date. You'll be given an idea of when it's going to come. If you're not going to be in to receive it, they will leave it in a safe place, and they've done that for me, and it was absolutely fine. They left it by the back door, it was no problem. There are ice packs in the HelloFresh box to keep the things like meat and fish super fresh. So I've not had a problem with delivery for HelloFresh, but obviously if you're on a subscription and, like, say maybe one week you forget that you have that subscription and it gets delivered to your back door while you're on holiday for a week or two, those ingredients probably aren't going to last for the 2 weeks, unless you can get a kind neighbour to come and take them in and put the bits that are going to expire into their freezer. Whereas with this, if you forget to delay this for a week when you're away 1 week, it's not going to matter, because all of these things will keep. So just to show you what the Simply Cook box actually looks like, so you get this nice handy box that fits in your letterbox, and you've got your 4 recipe kits that you picked out. Each one, nice bright colourful packaging, I think. So this is a firecracker noodles one here. I'll just pop that open just so you can see. It's going to have 3 little sachets in containing the ingredients for that dish. And then also in the box is the recipe card that goes with that. If you do lose the recipe card, you don't need to panic, because all of the recipes are online, and that's the same with HelloFresh as well. See, the HelloFresh box is a lot bigger, and it contains bags such as this one. So this is a bag containing one of the recipes. Each of the recipes I ordered from HelloFresh came divided up in bags like this. So you can see this is like recipe number 6 on there, and it's for 4 people. And inside this is the veg, such as pak choy. Some sachets. There's hoisin sauce there, sachets of hoisin sauce. The actual meat that comes with this dish came in another bag that had ice packs in, so that was kept fresh. It's very, very easy to distinguish between the ingredients that come in the HelloFresh box. You always know you've got a recipe card that takes you through what ingredients you need. So yeah, I can't fault them for the way that they package the goods. It always arrives nice, fresh, looking pretty good. So in terms of the actual ease of cooking, I would actually give Simply Cook the edge in terms of how straightforward the meals are. I really prefer the Simply Cook ones for the midweek meal cook, because each recipe only has around 3 stages. Sometimes those stages are split into multiple parts, but they're pretty simple, to be honest with you. I've found these recipes really, really easy to follow. They haven't taken that long. They're all around 20 to 30 minutes or so to cook. Now, HelloFresh, again, is simple, but I've felt with the dishes that I've had from HelloFresh, there has been a bit more prep. Like, I've had to peel potatoes, get mash going, mash up some mashed potatoes for it. There's just been a few more steps. Now, that's possibly just because of the nature of the recipes that I've had from HelloFresh versus the nature of the recipes that I've had from Simply Cook. I don't know. but I just got the sense that the cooking process with Simply Cook was ever so slightly simpler. So in terms of the actual taste, both can produce really amazing dishes. I had one bad Hellofresh dish, which was like a barbecue chicken dish, and just the flavour just wasn't that great, and the sauce just didn't thicken. Maybe I didn't cook it for long enough, but I followed the length of time that Hellofresh suggested, and the sauce was just really wimpy, and the flavouring on the chicken just really wasn't all that great. Whereas Simply Cook, oh, I've had so many really delicious meals from them recently. So we did a miso cod dish, which was lovely, a Vietnamese pork dish that was lovely, and a jerk chicken dish that was lovely. And what I really like about the Simply Cook recipes is that within sort of the little sachets that they give you, there's normally some flavouring for the meat, and then there's also a bit of flavouring, like if it's a rice dish, there's some kind of stock to add into the rice, or just some kind of sauce to add into the rice that really adds a really nice punch of flavour. It's really delicious. So what about the ease of managing your subscription? Both have fairly similar websites in terms of they have sections where you pick your recipes for the following week when your next delivery is, and they have sections where you can manage your subscription and your profile and stuff. Both have cancellation options under your manage your profile. I found cancelling Hellofresh a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. You couldn't do it via the app, you had to log in onto the website in order to cancel, so a bit annoying. I think Simply Cook was a little bit more straightforward in terms of that. It just allowed me to cancel. It didn't ask me 10 times if I was sure, whereas I felt that Hellofresh just kept on at me saying, are you sure, are you sure, are you sure? And obviously the fact I couldn't cancel through the app was a little bit frustrating. But both will allow you to delay deliveries by a week, which is good if you're going to be away. Sometimes you're not necessarily going to want a delivery every single week. Obviously, Simply Cook has an option where you could get your boxes every week, you can get them every fortnight, or you can get them every fourth week. So you don't have to have it every single week. And as I said, with Hellofresh, you can delay boxes by a week, and you can plan ahead and say, oh, I don't really want my Hellofresh delivery for the next couple of weeks or 3 weeks, but I'll have it back in 3 weeks' time. Obviously, if you do want to cancel, you can cancel and then restart your subscription again later. And to be honest, when you do cancel, they'll often give you some kind of offer because they want to keep you. They'll give you some kind of incentive, some kind of money off incentives to stay. So if you are sort of wavering on the fence and you think, oh, I might just cancel, they'll probably give you some kind of offer where you can get money off your next box. That's worth considering. So overall, what do I think about these? I think which one you're going to favour really comes down to the key question of the convenience issue. With Simply Cook, you are going to have to go to the supermarkets and buy some fresh ingredients. On the other hand, with Simply Cook, the expiry date on the actual recipe boxes, I think mine are like a year away, so I don't have to cook them this week. I can store them up for a week or so, cook it when I feel like cooking it. You know, I don't have to cook it within that week. Whereas with Hellofresh, obviously you've got fresh veg, fresh meat that's come in. You could freeze the meat, but I don't think you can freeze all of the veg to delay that. So you really need to cook your Hellofresh box that week. So there's slightly more flexibility with Simply Cook in that respect. I would say in terms of price, look, I found a dish that worked out a lot cheaper than Hellofresh, but I don't think that will necessarily be the case with every single dish on Simply Cook. They estimate a cost of between £3 and £6 per serving, and that seems accurate to me. So what it really comes down to is personal preference in terms of the convenience factor of the delivery, and also just looking at the recipes, like, you know, which one do you prefer? Both have a decent selection. I would say Simply Cook has a lot of sort of Asian, a lot of curries, a lot of noodle dishes. There are some Italian pasta dishes and a couple of sort of non-spicy, just mild, simple dishes. But yeah, Simply Cook does have a lot of Asian, Indian, Japanesey type dishes, which, you know, may be your preference. Whereas I found that Hellofresh has a bit more variety in terms of like British cuisine, French cuisine, you know, sort of duck dishes, burger dishes, bit of American cuisine as well. That could just be because at the moment when I'm looking at Simply Cook, they just so happen to have a huge selection of Asian dishes, but that's just the sense that I've had. So maybe it's good if you're on the fence about which one to choose, have a look at the recipes and see, well, which one actually suits my taste and which one will better suit my family's taste as well. Because if you want to do this for your kids as well and you have fussy eaters, obviously you need to take that into consideration. So for me personally, Simply Cook has the edge for me, just because I really found that their recipes really packed a punch. There was a lot of flavour, particularly with their rice dishes. They really found a way to inject a lot of flavour into rice dishes, and that's just one of my personal favourite things to eat in the week. In terms of convenience, obviously Hellofresh has the edge because it's delivering everything to you. But for me, I have time in the week to get to the supermarket. And yeah, Simply Cook just kind of edges it for me. I think $9.99 is quite a good price for what you're getting, as well as just the imagination of the recipes too that are coming through your door. So guys, I would love to hear what you think. Have you tried both? Have you tried one? Have you got a preference? Let me know in the comments below which of these recipe kit subscription services is your favorite. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next upload. Bye.